fascinating, by the way. And I think one thing that when I was reading this, one thing that I was struggling, if that's even a word in this, I think it was well written, but I was trying to figure out how much do you expect me to solve this, or how much you expect my surrounding to provide for this ecosystem, right? So you talked about, okay, that I think there are three ways to achieve self-worth. Wonderfully put. Byron, first we walk us through the three ways you're talking about.
Sure. So on the journey, as I said earlier, there's three paths. And the first path is the work we have to do for ourselves. And that was the example I shared around. I had work to do to see myself as worthy, to literally write it down and to pay attention to the reasons why I'm lovable, because I couldn't see it, right? And so there is work, I think, that many of us, perhaps not all, but many of us have to do just into reframing into how we see ourselves. Then there is the work on the path where we have friends and mentors and sponsors and benefactors and this whole network of people who help us feel worthy and loved and supported. And we need to, spend time with that group of people, both for whom we are that to others and we're on the receiving end. Right? And so there's absolutely those kind of important one-to-one relationships. And then there's that third part, which is, are we in a community at work where we feel like we can thrive, where we feel like we can show up with our whole selves, where our voices are heard, where who we are as a human is respected? And are we in an environment that sort of acknowledges kind of our fundamental human needs?
And I think so. On that note, which one do you see has the path to least resistance? So I think when you go through these three paths, and I was thinking about myself that way. So when I was thinking about myself, I said, okay, self-worth is nightmare to achieve. Obviously, if it's a very personality trait. So sure, like some people are very good at that. Some people are horrible at evaluating themselves. Helping others, I think most of us are sort of comfortable around that idea, right? So I think what pandemic has told us, we are far better helpers than being helped in certain ways. Organization, I think that the third aspect was pretty interesting to me, right? So as a leader, I thought, okay, maybe the third one is the catchy one. Okay, so that's creating an ecosystem. You can create, surround, you can hire, you can consult, you can put tools and system in place. Second one is, okay, if I have time, I'll lend one. And third is like, and the first path that it covers, that was the most struggling path for me.
Sure. I agree.
So when you were like, that's why I'm curious to learn about your perspective. How do you evaluate these three paths from easy to tough, or like what was coming to you when you, because it's wonderfully written, it's wonderfully put. Is which one do you think that would, or is there any such sequence?
Okay, so what I'll say is all three paths are hard. Full stop. Right, and we're not done. We're never done. Right. So I obviously wrote this book. I shared personal stories. I shared stories from other people that I interviewed, but we're not done. So I think, there's a way in which knowing that they're going to be hard and that we're not ever sort of, totally done can be sort of, it can make it feel like it's less of an obstacle. I do also talk about in the book the fact that there are obstacles in each of these paths, right? There are reasons why our individual feelings of worth are challenged every day at work. There are obstacles in what it means to try and connect with another human being. We miscommunicate, we bring our ego, the technology fails us. Like there's all kinds of reasons why we don't connect with another person. We have our own biases. And then obviously there's obstacles at the organizational and the community level, all of which are hard. And so I don't want to be, imply that it's daunting. I think that the journey is worth it, but each one of them is hard. And I think I did start with the individual for a reason, because, just in listening to you, like we can't give away anything that we don't have. And if we don't have that strong sense of worthiness for ourselves, we can't give it to another individual or to another organization that we work with. So that's why I think there is that sequence of starting with the individual. But I do think we can move around, right? That's not necessarily where we have to kind of stay.
So on that note, so what are some of the obstacles that each path? I think let's spend 2 minutes on what are some of the obstacles that you found on each path that we should worry about or that we should expect.
Sure. I mean, so let's starting with the individual. I think there's a lot of obstacles to seeing ourselves as worthy. I think one of them is just misperceptions, right? We don't talk about that I'm lovable. We don't talk about that I'm worthy because it's just not something that we talk about at work, right? So there's that. I think one of the big ones that I learned about in my research is obviously particularly for men and the ways in which young boys are told that the language of worth or the language of their whole sort of emotional lives of boys that really only kind of anger or withdrawal are acceptable human emotions. I think we've raised whole generations of men to feel like even that their feelings are not validated, and so I think there's an obstacle in terms of maybe a hyper-masculization of culture that we've created. I think that's one that I explore in the book. And then there's obstacles, obviously, in our own heads, right? The narrative that we tell ourselves, the story that we tell ourselves, and we believe just because it's in our own voice. And it may or may not be true, but because the voice is familiar, it must be, we sort of give it, more faith than perhaps what others might tell us. So I do think there's obstacles at every path.
And what about serving others and the community? What are the obstacles there?
Sure. So I think one of the biggest obstacles in demonstrating that kind of love and worth to another is our own need to be loved and our own kind of ego. So one of the things I talk about is the speed to empathy and the fact that let's say you and I have a communication breakdown and I'm all upset because you said something and you're upset because I said something. The sort of common human behavior would be to just kind of wait for the other person to admit that they were wrong and that they need to come and apologize or make the first move or whatever it is. And so we wait, but we're both waiting. And so one of the reasons that communications and kind of connections breaks down is that willingness to kind of speed to empathy of, you know what, you're hurting too, just because like my hurting doesn't matter more than your hurting, right? And so I think, so I often think about that need to have our own hurts or our own feelings validated can stand in the way of our ability to, care for somebody else.